Welcome back, backpack battlers. Today we step off the road to GM and enter the ominous Other Game Modes category. Our mission? Create the most heinously broken build possible, pushing the very limits of what this game is capable of, and seeing how long we can last versus the true final boss of the game, the fatigue damage. To do this, we're hosting our own lobby. And let's change the settings to something reasonable here, nothing too crazy. Diving into custom rules. First, we're looking at gold per round. Again, I don't want to go too crazy here. That looks good. Sale chance next. Something reasonable here. 5%'s the base. We could turn it up. Alright, that looks good now. Let's do the same for these other settings and we're good to go.
The ultimate shadow game is just beginning.
And true to shadow game tradition, a lot of the normal rules don't apply. Since we're in a custom lobby with only ourselves, during the battle phase we'll be pitted up against a dark reflection of ourselves, a shadow cruel.
And if we lose, we're banished to the shadow realm for all eternity.
Wait, really?
No, not really. The game will go 18 rounds regardless of if we win or lose, so the name of the game is playing as greedy as possible, so greedy that the dragon from Lord of the Rings, Smaug, and Scrooge McDuck would be proud, all while looking for pieces for our build to increase longevity and sustain. We want to see how long we can last against this fatigue damage, so we're maximizing for that. And first shop's out of the way, we're already off to a really good start. You can see we got the Amulet of Life, which is already juicing our healing by 20%. And look at all these sales and all this gold. Shop 2, we hit the Rainbow Badge, which is a pretty big pickup. There are items from both Mage and Berserker that we want in this run, so Rainbow Badge will give us a nice little access to them.
Is that a fanny pack?
Excellent eye. Yes, we will be buying every single fanny pack we see. If you've watched my videos before, you know I love a good fanny. And we've got a nice side quest of maxing out our bag with fanny packs. Mostly because I've never done it before and I think it will be cool. But it will also help us against the fatigue boss here. We want everything triggering and ramping up as quickly as possible. Zooming through the second battle, we enter shop 2 and we hit big on this skill selection and we get false life. This is actually like my 5th attempt trying to do this. And I think this skill is a must for anyone attempting this because it turns all your overhealing into HP. And if you're building a super sustain build like we are, it's probably the best skill out there. So I was stoked we hit it here. Twine Badge is also kind of cool. We're planning to use Burning Blade to print a bunch of heat, so it is a crafted item, and if we put Twine Badge on the Burning Blade we're trying to build, then every time Burning Blade procs, it will have a 20% chance to give us 2 heat instead of just 1. We get offered an interesting trade here as well. We just built this Pig of Riches, but the Pyro Rainbow Goobert gives us heat, which is so strong I think we have to go for it. With the rest of Shop 3, we set up for Turbo Shelly, Burning Blade, and Steel Goobert. I had a dream last night that I had a little bear cub as a pet, and I was like taking him around in the supermarket shopping for food for him. It was adorable. But there was this other shopper that was like avoiding coming down the aisle, and then he came up and he's like, I'm just gonna wait. And he points to his cart and he has like a little baby skunk in his cart. So I don't know, in my dream there's some alternate universe where everyone has these odd pets and everyone takes them to the supermarket. This is my long way of saying I need a dog. Steel Goob complete. Groundwork is set for Burning Blade and Turbo Shelly. We're also building an Ice Flower to help juice our moon armors. I'll explain that a little bit more. So Ice Flower gives a 50% chance every time the armor that it's on procs to give us 1 mana and 17 armor. And then we're going to load the moon armors up with sapphires. So the moon armors are going to be proccing, giving us mana. Because we get mana, we're going to get armor from the sapphires. And then with the Ice Flower, we're going to get more mana and more armor. So this is a big piece of the survivability puzzle. Into shop 8, and we're to the main reason we picked Pyromancer for this challenge. Firebender gives us the friendly fire, this little fire guy. He takes your mana, turns that mana into heat. I tried Mage a few times with this build, but the subclass choices were irrelevant, and I ended up in several scenarios where my mana scaling outscaled my heat, so then I started printing more and more mana instead of heat, and it was big trouble. Friendly Fire is going to take our mana, convert that mana into heat, and help us avoid that problem, so very good for this build. Our greedy pig army is coming along nicely. And we got a boatload of fanny packs. Things are shaping up quite nice. We hit the last goob. Now all we need is a blood amulet and a lightsaber, and we'll have everything we need for rainbow goob. Astute viewers may have noticed I've been picking up several cupcakes. Now if you're familiar with the dessert meta here in the United States, from like 2010 to 2016, Cupcake places reigned supreme, and people were lining up to pay $5, $10 for the fanciest cupcakes you've ever seen in your life. But eventually, people grew tired of the cupcakes. They were no longer the hip and trendy thing, and the cookie reigned supreme. And like 10,000 cookie places opened up, all trying to sell you the nicest, fanciest, most bespoke cookies you've ever seen. But much like the cupcakes, people are growing weary of the cookies. They've saturated the market to untenable levels, and the cookie bubble is about to burst. There are actually no cookies in this game, so we can't do a historic reenactment of dessert capitalism, sadly, but we pick up the mystery box for our second skill, and I was quite pleased. We got double rainbow. This has the chance to duplicate the buffs we get from anything on the stars, which is pretty huge. Not to be confused with rainbow badge, which again gives us access to every single class's items in the shop. Pretty big rest of shop 10, we end up setting up for moon armor, and we land on the lightsaber as well for our light goob. And the build is really coming together. Right now we're searching for Amulet of Feasting, which is actually a huge piece of the puzzle. The reason it's so good is that whenever you buy a food, it instantly restocks with another food. So when you're trying to cupcake max, it's really good. And since we set everything up to always be on sale, it costs us no money to fish for food indefinitely. So we can get as many cupcakes as we need, we can get as much cheese as we need, but in order to actually get that, we need the amulet. So we gotta buy all the random amulets we see in the hopes that we hit feasting. Shop 14, second moon armor complete, so we begin the work of combining all our gems. Again, we're looking for sapphires, we're looking for rubies. Rubies increase our healing and give us lifesteal, and sapphires give us armor when we get mana. During this battle, you can see the problem we ran into as mage, where our mana is outpacing our heat, so the cupcakes start making mana instead of heat. Not what we want, not what we want. We need to figure out some more heat. But rainbow goob is complete, and it's going to generate heat for us, which is huge, so I don't think we have to worry too much. Crazy hit in shop 15 with this little stopwatch. It's called the Time Dilator. It makes you attack 30% slower, which is the downside, but every second, it makes your highest cooldown item trigger faster. So we can use it to activate our Rainbow Goobert, and it's going to speed up our entire board, which is insanely good for what we're doing. This is a blessed run for sure. Board rearranged to orient around our newly minted Rainbow Goob. Let's get a little preview of what this thing's capable of. And oh my god, the numbers of the dopamine just flooding in. Big numbers equal fun. Honestly, never built anything like this before, and it's pretty awesome. We still haven't even reached our final form, and already it's shaping up to be a pretty amazing build. Freeze frame right here. We're hitting 100,000 HP and almost 4,000 heat, but we need more power. So we push even further. Entire board is fanny packs. Numbers flying out left and right. My desire for power is insatiable. And we need more. So we push on. 4,000 heat, 144,000 HP. We can't do better. We can get more. So we beat on. Boats against the current. The fatigue damage constantly trying to tear us down. But the pinnacle of backpack battle boards is here to fight back. A masterpiece, a thing of wondrous beauty, capable of generating numbers you wouldn't even believe. Unbelievable numbers. And here we are, round 18, everything building up to the last battle. We take our starter bag, sell it for more fanny packs. And now we're ready. It's time for the last battle. The cacophony of sound. The flood of numbers. They all wash over me. We've created something beautiful. And oh, what a run. We never did hit on the Amulet of Feasting, but still think we did alright. 200,000 HP, over 5,000 heat, and that last tick of fatigue damage, 55,912. From the combat log, that's 87 seconds in. Anyway, that's all we've got for today. If you want to throw your hat in the ring, I 100% welcome it. If you last longer than that 87 seconds, if you've got a build, send me a screenshot, send me a video. I'd love to see it. Our build was really good, but I don't think it was perfect. I do think there is some room there. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. If you are already subscribed, thank you so much. You guys are awesome. And until next time.